One of the most interesting parts of the Civilization series is the leaders, seeing who gets to represent an entire group of peoples, who gets to be the face of each culture. It's always a fun thing to speculate about whenever a new Civ game gets announced. And while you got your mainstays like Shaka for the Zulus or Caesar for the Romans, I've always thought that the civilizations that keep you guessing are always more interesting. France is always bouncing around between like 4 different figureheads, and they always look hideous. Look at my guy Louis XIV over here, Baron Dante looking ass. Russia also kind of bounces between some prominent folk. Sometimes it's Catherine the Great, sometimes it's Peter the Great, sometimes it's Joseph the war criminal. China has a 5,000-year-old culture with a rich history of hundreds of emperors and warlords and wise men, so of course, when it comes to their leader, it's just always fucking Mao Zedong. Germany's leader is always just whoever's the most likely to make you forget that Hitler existed. And with America and its pantheon of 46 goddamn mythologized deities that they have to choose from, it's especially fun to speculate about who they'll have in each game. Though, of course, with me being the ultimate contrarian that I am, when it comes down to the imminent release of Civilization 7, I want to ditch that pantheon altogether and have, instead, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard as the leader of America. The first important quality for a civilization leader is that they're an indispensable figure in their nation's history. Now, I could talk about how MLK spearheaded the civil rights movement in America, about how his efforts directly led to the expansion of rights for Black Americans, as well as how those efforts set the precedent for expanding the rights of other minority groups as well. I could talk about his winning of the Nobel Peace Prize, about how he penned some of the most well-written and recognized speeches of all time, about his ambitious and revolutionary Poor People's Campaign. But instead, just let me ask you this one simple question. How many Americans do you know that have their own federally recognized holiday? Who? That's right, there's only one. It's MLK. Nobody else. There ain't no Neil Armstrong Day. There ain't no Sacagawea Day. Not even the presidents have their own days. No, they just smushed all 46 of the fuckers together into a single day, and they called it a day. So by the logical usage of, Occam's razor, we can conclude that MLK is objectively the most historically significant American to have ever existed. The second important quality for a civ leader is that they have a very strong, very interesting personality. You look at big beefy daddies like Theodore Roosevelt or Gilgamesh, and they just exude personality. You know they're tough, you know they're coming, and they're gonna punch you right in the goddamn nose. The same thing goes for dex builds like Poundmaker and Hojo Tokimune. Look at these fellas. They're perfect. Now look at any picture of MLK, and you can almost hear his voice through them. You can tell that this is a passionate, well-spoken man who's about to lay down the best spoken word performance this side of the Mississippi. Plus, just listen to his voice.
50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
Tell me that's not the kind of gravitas you want to hear in a voice when brokering a trade deal over exactly how many metric tons of citrus fruit it will cost to buy the entire city of Chicago. The third important quality for a civ leader is that, contextually, they open up the possibility for interesting playstyles for the respective civilization. So not only is religion a long-standing and crucial element to the Civilization games, but religion is also a long-standing and crucial element to America herself. It's why they keep voting in evangelical shitpigs like Ronald Reagan into office, because he effectively wielded the image of being a champion for Christianity. And yet, despite the entire country being so deeply ingrained with fundamentalist Christianity, I can't say that it's ever been reflected in any Civilization game. That does make sense though contextually, as with the figureheads they've used like Washington or Roosevelt, these men weren't exactly remembered for religious fervor. And even if they were to go off the rails and use the rotting prawn and a semen-coated sock that is Reagan, even he was restricted by the Bill of Rights from turning the country into a straight-up theocracy. However, with MLK as their leader, we could see an America that is focused heavily around a religious victory, and I think that we could represent that much better with MLK than we could any actual president that we've ever had. I mean, the guy was called Reverend for a reason, y'all. And, you know, after 6 games of Welcome to Big Old Freedom Town, we got the Manifest Destiny and Cowboys, it might be interesting to do something else for a change. Alright, so I know exactly what you've been thinking this entire video. You're saying, listen here, buddy, MLK can't be the leader for America because MLK was never America's head of state. And while I can completely understand why you're saying that, please consider the following. Gandhi. Fucking Gandhi was never the president or prime minister or anything in India. He never held public office. He was just a guy who stopped eating, that's all. And yet none of you motherfuckers ever complain about seeing this Yertle the Turtle looking bitch pop up in every single Civilization game since 1923. But that's not all. Oh no, Joan of Arc was never the head of state of France, and yet she's been used in Civ 3. Frederick the Great has been used for Germany in multiple titles, even though he was king of Prussia. Ragnar and Gilgamesh keep coming back, even though they probably never even existed. And Sitting Bull in Sid Meier's Civilization 4 was the leader of Native America. He represented every single goddamn American Indian tribe. See that? You see all that diversity and nuance? Yeah, fuck that. Apparently Sitting Bull was just emperor of all of that. So yeah, don't at me for MLK not being a president or a politician at all for that matter. That's a stupid argument and it's irrelevant to the Civilization series. Now, I hope that I have convinced you in favor of my opinion, and if I have done so successfully, please click the link below in the description of this video, which will take you to the official Make MLK the Leader of America in Civ 7 petition. Leave your name, share the link yourself, and help me to spread the good word. God bless America, and thank God for video games.